in Somaliland. The recognition of Somaliland by Israel is illegitimate and unlawful. And
Ankara's position is crystal clear. Any move to recognize Somaliland is, in their eyes, a direct violation of international law. And that really gets to the heart of the issue, doesn't it? If we set aside all the politics for a moment, what does the actual framework of international law have to say about Somaliland's claim to sovereignty? Let's unpack the legal arguments.
Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that the central legal argument for Somaliland isn't about secession or creating a brand new nation. No, it's all about the idea of re-recognizing a state that never really stopped existing in the first place.
This is the big one, the key concept we've got to wrap our heads around: state continuity. You know, you can almost think of it like a company. Once a company is legally formed, it continues to exist in the eyes of the law unless it's formally and lawfully dissolved or merged. Well, the same basic idea applies to countries.
So here's how that principle applies directly to Somaliland's case. The argument goes that back in 1960, it ticked all the boxes for being a state. It was independent, it was recognized by other countries, and it was even making treaties. But that last point is the most critical. Its sovereignty was never, ever lawfully given away. Okay, but wait. That probably brings up a big question for you. What about the union with Somalia just a few days later in 1960? I mean, if Somaliland's sovereignty was never extinguished, what was that all about? Well, the answer, as it turns out, is all in the legal nitty-gritty. You really have to look at the timeline to get what happened. On one side, you have the brand new independent state of Somaliland. On the other, the trust territory of Somalia. Now, they intended to unite, but here's the kicker. The actual legal paperwork to make the union official, a formal, ratified act of union, was never actually finished.
And this is where you can see that huge legal gap. You see, for a union to be legit, you need a formal, ratified treaty, a mutual agreement. That simply never happened. Without it, what occurred wasn't a legal merger. It was effectively an annexation, which, under international law, can't just erase the pre-existing statehood of the country that was annexed.
All right, so this brings us to the biggest counter-argument you always hear when this topic comes up, the principle of territorial integrity. It's the idea that Somalia's borders are sacred and can't be changed. Now, this principle is, a huge deal for keeping the world stable. It's all about protecting a country from having its established territory carved up or claimed by other nations. It really is about ensuring stability and respect for sovereign borders. So, the crucial question is, who does this rule actually protect? Well, territorial integrity applies to a state within its own lawful borders. Think of it as a shield to defend your own territory, not a sword to claim someone else's. And that's the absolute core of the counter-argument right there. If that 1960 union was never legally sealed, then the territory of Somaliland was never